Hi, everybody. One of the things that we wanted to talk about was bringing in a weekly meeting where we can talk to our audiences and just share a little bit about how we do business, how we conduct ourselves during these times, and how do we approach things from the heart more than from the head. You know, you and I have been working together for God almost in one way, shape, or form. We've been working together for over 20 years now, and yeah, and with that being said, we've been working in real estate in the real estate capacity together. You doing mortgages and me selling homes, and Susan selling homes for God 15 years maybe. I mean, it's been a long time.
Long time.
So we've seen a lot of markets do what they do. We've seen a lot of things happen. We've had a lot of things happen personally in our lives that caused pause. So right now we have pause, but life doesn't end there. You know what I mean?
Well, what's interesting is unlike other times where I think we've all had individual pauses and individual strife in our own personal lives, that we're experiencing this more as community, more than any other time in our past, where I think everybody has a level of insecurity and uncertainty, and it's shared amongst all of us.
With that being said, it's an opportunity to open ourselves up to our friends and family and let them know how we do things. So we're kind of letting the world come into our space a little bit, huh, Hilda?
It's great. It's great. Yeah, no, you guys definitely were ahead of the curve with the Zoom meetings. It was my first introduction about a year ago to this type of format. But you guys have been innovators on so many different levels, and allowing people to do their best work from their best space has
and a lot of it is because of people like Jerry and Kenny, that they think that way instinctively, and they just kind of bring people like you and me along for the ride, right?
Well, I think there could be a little generational thing there.
A little generational gap.
Yeah.
And there's a symbiosis, though, between people who know a fair amount about technology and those with more life experience and business experience, and it's mutually beneficial for your generation and ours to have this type of communication. So
Yeah.
we appreciate you guys, and I'm sure it's a mutual feeling.
Yeah, we definitely.
Oh, definitely.
So what we'll do is, then we'll do one of these, and what we're talking about is doing them on Thursdays. This will be our first one, but every Thursday we'll bring a new guest that can talk about how they're doing their business. I love what one of my clients is becoming a friend very quickly on a beautiful property that we're selling up Monticello. She was a high-level executive with a big retail store, and her husband was a high-level executive with one of the big, I don't want to give away a lot of confidential information, but he was let's call it the
Telecommunication.
Telecommunications. Thank you. His company was the Apple of its time, but they're more in retirement mode. And one thing they taught me a while ago was the tuck and roll model. The tuck and roll. She says, we all go through life's ups and downs, and at times we have to tuck and roll. And this is one of those times. Life just doesn't stop. It's just, what do we do with what we have? And I'm glad we all get to do it together, and we have each other. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Hilda, you said something early on about 3 months furlough of mortgages, and how most would have to pay those 3 months and the fourth month at the end of it.
Two options in the marketplace. One is a forbearance. The other is a deferment. With the forbearance, lenders are allowing a period of time, be it 3 months or 6 months, to have the payment in a forbearance. But that means that at the end of that term, at the end of the 3-month term on month 4, they want all 4 months of payments. You are allowed supposedly to extend that time period up to 12 months. However, they want their payments for the full 12 months on that 13th month. A deferment, which has been announced by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that should be available, adds the payments to the end of the mortgage term So you are not going to, at the end of the 3-month or 6-month term, be required to come up with that big chunk of money. It will extend out that payment another year per se, to be able to pay that at the end. However, those deferments are going to be very difficult to obtain. You're going to have to go through a process of applying for them, and they're going to have to approve them. So the first thing anybody should do in this situation, if they're feeling, number one, if you can make the payment, period. End of story, if you can do it. If you cannot, if you've lost your job or been reduced hours or whatever, contact the company that services the mortgage. That is the first call to make, and get their assistance, find out what they're offering. But just know a forbearance is going to have a hefty payment come the end of that forbearance.